In our romantic relationships, love is both a language and a dance. But for neurodiverse couples, the journey can feel both beautifully unique and sometimes incredibly challenging. I'm Mona Kay. I'm a social worker. I was married for 30 years, didn't know I was in a neurodiverse relationship until my 29th year of marriage. And I have been the host of the Neurodiverse Love podcast for the last 4 years. We are giving neurodiverse couples an opportunity to share their stories, the strengths, the challenges, and the differences of being in a neurodiverse relationship. The Neurodiverse Love Docuseries explores the paths these couples take as they share their stories of confusion, understanding, and hope. And as you watch each episode, I want you to know that you're not alone.
Being able to, provide and be able to help out with our finances, like it just kills me because I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to help.
Me watching Dante struggle with so much, it sometimes takes a toll, because when someone is constantly down because they feel like they can't provide, like how society says that you should provide in a relationship, how it should be 50-50, just watching him kind of beat himself up over it has been really hard for me.
Employment issues for neurodiverse couples, that I would say is the bigger part of my practice.
The workplace is difficult for neurodivergence for a lot of different reasons.
The world doesn't really try to help people with disabilities as a whole. There's a couple of accommodations that would make my life easy in order to keep a job, but it's just hard to just find an employer that's willing to help you. I just really get down about it.
When it comes to underemployment or not being able to hold on to jobs, I think that's a really tough issue.
I'm more worried about him finding something that actually fits him, and we haven't been able to really find much, especially because Dante's background, a lot of the jobs where you can work from home, you need to have certain degrees or certificates or papers to have those type of jobs that would probably work better, and he probably would do better if it was something that had low sensory, but you can't really find those jobs. So that's been our stress.
It's really, I think, hard to watch someone from the outside who's so good at what they do in a world where you are neurodivergent, trying to manage a professional world that has its own culture that's different than even maybe relationship culture and socializing outside. It's a whole other language to learn. What I think is so frustrating as someone who loves someone who is neurodivergent is really the thought that he was an incredible lawyer, so they all should have been hiring him. So that stress also added stress to the marriage.
Security ends up being a huge factor, and even really colors their partnerships.
They might have to look for part-time or slightly less than full-time kind of employment, and be okay with that, because it's okay to even work part-time for, say, 40 years than to work full-time for 10 years and then never work again because you're just so burnt out.
I've never been able really to successfully work a 40-hour week without getting burnt out and depressed. I had a new job every year or two, and sometimes multiple jobs every year or two for 23 years. And the thing was, I kind of knew that I was good, or I had something to give, but I kept stepping on toes, or maybe I'd say the wrong thing, or maybe I'd get let go. And I never really understood why. And it's just my system. My system is intense. It only has so much capacity. It wears out quickly. And if I am going to subscribe to someone else's standards for me as a neurodivergent person, I'm in trouble.
I was a great lawyer in terms of the technical aspects of being a lawyer, but I was a terrible lawyer in terms of being a successful person in a law firm. Not understanding social cues, leaving meetings, not understanding what the assignment was, complete inability to generate business by meeting strangers and getting them to hire me. So when it finally occurred to me that that was the real business of lawyering, it was clear that wasn't going to work out very well for me.
The default operating mode for an autistic person is to go hard, and then if it doesn't quite work, it'll go harder, and then go harder. And then if that works even, go harder. And it's always go harder.
The spouses are just like so focused on their work, and when they're not focused on work, they're focused on chores or special interests.
Do I think Sarah is married to her interests in her employment? She's not married to her employment. Her special interests, yes.
When I get interested in something, I'm typically very good at it and I can master it very quickly. So the learning process is what I love.
I get lost in things. I don't understand it. I don't feel it. I just know that I get lost. I have gravitated to computers. I can gravitate towards camera. I can gravitate towards putting furniture together or working out in the yard. And then I look up and it's hours later. Melissa often tell me I don't have concept of time.
One of the things I see is a complete identification and maybe over-identification with their workplace, meaning that's where all their self-worth is contained. So there can also be a really secure feeling in this. It can really be an emotional replacement for where maybe more your emotions should be, which is maybe at home with your family or your partner.
It's the reoccurring fight we have constantly is the special interests, which is computers, devices. You know, I tell him all the time, like, you know, Apple is your mistress, because she gets all your time.
If your special interest overlaps with your job, it's even more fraught with problems or potential issues.
I'm in cybersecurity, which is computer technology. I honestly don't feel like I have a special interest, to be honest with you. I feel like I do things I have to do.
To be completely honest, that has always been a challenge as well, because you would say, I'm gonna be with you, and then we pull up a chair, you know, at the island while I'm cooking, and we're on the phone.
I can't just be still. That's difficult. So I have to fidget or something, and the phone is there, and I pick up the phone and I'm strolling through the phone. I think those are the times that my mind is still.
To me, special interests cannot be understated in terms of their importance, and they're not just hobbies. It's just funny to even say that, because it regulates my nervous system. It makes me feel whole. It recharges my battery. It's critical to my mental and physical health.
Music is everything. Like, I had a really tough life. Like, just give me a voice. It just helps me express myself. Because I wasn't able to a lot of the times growing up.
A lot of times there's a lot of imbalance that happens here.
Dante probably is making music 70% of the day.
And it can really become a problem.
Just during the early parts, it was just kind of like a tough balancing act to, you know, give her enough attention and, just still do my music and everything.
It's the one thing I've asked him over and over and over again is I would love to just for one day be on the top of the list. You know, it's not wake up, go to my computer, spend time with my wife. It's wake up, spend time with my wife, and then go on my computer.
As a husband, how do I balance my career, making money, and balance the time? I mean, people do it, but it's a little bit more of a struggle for me.
For some of my couples, I hear that a lot. By the time my partner gets home from work, there's nothing left for me. And that's sad, because that's kind of when your life should start, when you get off work.
They have to learn to like ration their energy, for example. Sometimes I think the autistic spouse is just not self-aware enough to understand that the reason they're so exhausted coming home from work is that they have like used up every ounce of their energy. If it's a special interest, I think it's important for people to be disciplined in this, using the relationship schedule, putting a limit on phones and screen time.
Every weekend is typically our time. Every evening after 7 o'clock, I typically shut down.
I've been getting better with that. I do admit it was kind of like excessive, you know, especially like meeting my wife and hearing her concerns and stuff. Like, I had dialed it down a bit, you know, and only do it a lot of times when, you know, like I got a lot of free time, or, you know, like if we're not hanging out or anything.
We do this thing where we go walking in the park, and like that's our time where I don't feel like I'm competing with music. And I'm okay sharing Dante with music because I know he loves it. I just have also got better of just like communicating and saying like, hey, I've noticed you've been like making a lot of music for the last few hours. Can we go do something, or can we chat? Dante's been really receptive of like, you know, he might like need a little bit more time to finish up, but then he'll like come over and then we can like chat. So I don't have to be jealous.
I used to be quite judgy of his special interests. I used to say he had serial special interests, but this was before I knew he was neurodiverse. So he had a whole bonsai collection and would spend lots of time on it. Or you had aquariums and fish. I was like, what is this? We have completely different interests for the most part, and completely different zones of genius for the most part. Mark recently said, actually, we have no overlapping skills. We have a few. Rather than letting it be an area of conflict, how could you find pieces of it that are of interest to both of you? What is it they're interested in, and how can you find some tiny thread that you're both interested in? Cooking, I don't want to cook anything, but I'm happy to eat it, and I'm happy to consult on sort of the health angle of it. And so we've found spaces where we can blend those two things, but it did take 40 years or 35.
Last couple years we've been running retreats for physicians, really trying to address burnout, wellness, job satisfaction. And we've done some of those at our house here. We've done them in other locations, and they've been pretty popular. And so Jessie can do her thing with coaching, and I can handle food and the other details, and it's been working out great.
I think there's huge lessons here for broader society. We need to kind of slow down and really rethink about how we respond to diversity and difference in others. And can we meet it more with understanding, curiosity, positive assumptions, compassion, and even celebration of our differences.
Really, we want folks to know they're not alone, that every neurodiverse couple has strengths, they have challenges, and they have lots of differences, but with the right resources and the right support, they can thrive. And if you'd like to get some additional information on the work I've been doing for the last 4 years, you can check out my website at neurodiverselove.com. Thank you so much.